I'm just curious. So when I ask app not to track my data, is it still tracking my swipes and scrolls and stuff like that?
Yes. So they see that how many customers are coming at what time on their platform, and they introduce ads at that time when there is a peak timing.
All right, folks, so we are back with another very interesting video for you guys. And today we have with us Swati Sinha, who's a senior product manager at Walmart Global Tech India. She'll be answering all your questions and we'll be covering all the possible insights you need regarding product management. You did your graduation in computer science, correct? And you worked as a software engineer for quite some time before transitioning slowly into a product role.
Correct.
How did you do that? And is that the path is necessary for somebody to become a product manager, having tech knowledge first and then slowly transitioning?
I have graduated as a computer science engineering from BIT Mesra. I was placed in a company called Mahindra Conveyor, which is here in Bangalore. I worked there for 3 years as a full stack developer. To answer the second part of your question, it is not important to have a tech background. Mostly people in product management come from very different backgrounds. So it is a myth, I would say, that if you are into product management, you need to know something of, you need to know technology, but you do not necessarily need to know coding or SQL. So that is not a requirement.
Understood, because a lot of people, especially since you guys implement tech in the existing workflows, they have this notion that you should know technology through and through so that you can take a decision to implement it.
Not through and through. You have to know what you're working on. So if you, a product manager is necessarily at the spoke of many different streams. So they are interacting with different stakeholders. Technology stakeholders are a very prominent part of their, one of those very prominent stakeholders that they're interacting with. So you need to know technology enough so that you know that what you're talking to them and what they're asking you and what you are asking them to do. So that is it.
So Swati, so I understood that you wanted to, have a wider impact and you wanted to collaborate with multiple stakeholders and create a product which involves some bit of research, some bit of business knowledge, and is more of a managerial kind of role. So while you were wanting to do that, from your existing career, how did you slowly transition? Did you upskill yourself by learning anything new, or that added up to your existing skill set of being a software developer, or how was it for you?
So these are two completely different domains. I was into a completely different domain. I wanted to go somewhere else. So the very logical path for me was to take management entrance exams.
I thought you'll mention
CAT.
MBA.
Yeah,
Everybody
MBA.
was it.
And no, actually everyone who was with me was doing an MS. So
Okay.
almost everyone. And my sister, because she was already in the US, she also wanted me to come there. But like I told you, I was more interested into management. So that is why I wanted to do, I wanted to take CAT, SAT and all those exams so that I could go for an MBA. So I did not upskill myself. I wrote exams and I got into MICA. So that is when, and did an MBA for 2 years. So that is when I transitioned.
Somebody who is maybe just graduating from an MBA college, what can they expect in the initial year of product management?
So designation is different in different companies. In FirstCry, it started from an associate product manager, senior product manager. Then it would move on to an AGM, assistant general manager, then general manager. In companies like Walmart, Google, the hierarchy is different. It starts from, say, a PM3, product manager 3, then it moves on to senior product manager, staff product manager, group product manager, then a director. So that is how the hierarchy works. In terms of roles and responsibilities, I think I would like to explain what exactly a product manager does. Myntra is a product. So when you are using it as a customer, you are clicking on a banner, you're going to a listing page, you're selecting a particular product, then you're reading about that product, then you are trying to compare that product to another product. Say you're buying a jeans, then you are comparing that jeans with a jeans of another brand. So that is actually a functionality. That functionality is enabled by a product manager. So when you click on a certain page or a certain link, where do you exactly go? If you click on a certain functionality like filter, what exactly does that do? So if you go on a listing page and you click on filter and you select color as a filter, then what all appears? All of that is decided by a product manager, that how will that setup look. That is one part, that is a UX part. But the functionality, what should it work, anything, say an Ola or an Uber, anything is a product. So whatever functionalities they are offering, it is end to end thought of by a product manager, because there should not be a loophole. So this is what a product manager does. I was talking about an e-commerce product, which is an Amazon or a Myntra, anything, take anything for an example, say Netflix. What all, you see that section where you see that these are the things that you have watched, or you see that section where you see that this is something you would like. So what all suggestions to give a customer so that a customer gets hooked to your platform is what is the job of a product manager. In order to do that, what all functionality should they offer, how should your product look like, how should they have an edge over the other competition, like for Netflix, Prime Video is a competition. So how should they have an edge over that is the job of a product manager in layman terms. Now that they have come up with a functionality, for example, if you are a product manager in Google and you're trying to improve Google Maps, then you come with a functionality that it should have multiple languages for users of different age groups or different nationalities. How will it appear to the customers? Where exactly will you see the options to select a language? How will the setup change? How will it work end to end? Is the job of a product manager.
I'm just interested to know, how do you generalize a user behavior? Let's just say a Myntra or a WhatsApp in general, millions of people they use that.
Yes.
So while making a decision, how do you generalize a particular parameter or a particular solution for everybody?
You have to know that when you are providing a solution, it may not suit everyone. So you have to see that it has to be a certain set of users who are being most impacted. For example, if I am making a change on Netflix, if I try to please everyone from all age groups, that is a useless effort, because not everyone will be pleased. You have to see who exactly the target audience of that particular product is. So if it is a Netflix, you know it is a Gen Z or a millennial, because they are the people who are most into that. Then you have to see the pain points. You have to see that what is the problem they are facing. If you as a customer is on Netflix and you have a problem of changing a language or seeing different genres of movies which you cannot, that is a pain point that you are facing. Then it is a step-by-step process. What we do as a product manager is you do a primary research. In a primary research, you go and ask customers what is the problem with this product or a competition product that you are facing. Then you do a secondary research. In a secondary research, you see the competition. What are they coming up with? And then you try to, combine all of those problem statements and then provide a solution. And when you provide a solution, you cannot cater to all the problem statements. You have to see that which is the problem statement which is going to impact most people.
And also, speaking of doing market analysis for competitors, I know I'm generalizing here a little, but I want your insights here. So do you usually do what other people are doing, or do you try to do what other people are doing better, or do you try to do something which nobody else is doing?
It is about how good a product manager is. So if you're trying to do what others are doing, then you're a good product manager. But if you're trying to do better than what others are doing, you're a better product manager. So that is the difference.
And what about what you're doing something that nobody else is doing, like a moonshot?
Yeah, so that is the best thing to do. So basically the best thing to do is to know the customer. For any product, the end thing is a customer. Like Jeff Bezos also says for Amazon, that we are catering to the customers. Our sole responsibility is to make the customer happy. The customer is our God. For a product, it is our responsibility to see that the customer is at a position where they like the product. So understanding their pain point and resolving them is the first thing. So in that case, you can be sure that you are building an innovative product.
Right.
For example, Apple keeps on innovating. If they do not, then their product becomes stagnated. It becomes saturated. They have to keep on innovating. And for that, they have to see that who is the target audience, how well they are doing. They necessarily won't copy the competition.
Right.
But that is also one thing. You have to see that in your particular geography, if everyone is going, say, to a subscription model, like what an MICA is doing. So what an MICA is doing, other brands in those same area, like Sugar, will also try to do. They do not want to stay back.
I could be wrong here, but since you mentioned Apple and about the customers, serving the customers, and customer is right and things like that, it just Steve Jobs had a very anti-view on this. He was like, customers, they are not always right. So he was very maybe not stern, but rigid towards his vision, and he wanted to show customer that maybe I hear you, but this is what it is better, and you used to push that. Do you think that approach works for Indian customers in general?
India has such a heterogeneous population. We cannot generalize in India. But the thing is that when you come up with something, there is this one thing with people of India, that they are ready to try. It is not something that they will not use, or because the population is so heterogeneous that some section of the society or people will try that. So that is one thing. However, what Steve Jobs had said, like what you have mentioned, I feel that in a product, the end goal is a customer. It is not about pleasing the customer, but it is about solving the problems of a customer. From inception, from scratch, when you're building a product, the thought process around it is that it should solve somebody's problem. That is the thought process. There should be somebody who has a problem which I am catering to, and it should solve a problem. There's no use building something which nobody will use at the end of the day. So like I was telling you, that when you are building something, when we are doing some enhancements in a product, then we see the pain point of a customer, we come to a solution, and then select that solution which is going to have the maximum impact. Because it is no use spending so much effort and time and money on building something which nobody will use.
Absolutely.
So that is what at least I feel in India. Although for FirstCry I have worked for UAE, people there are also similar.
I'm just curious. So when I ask app not to track my data, is it still tracking my swipes and scrolls and stuff like that?
Yes, actually, some part of it. Basically, when you have explicitly mentioned that do not track, it does not. But when you say ask this app only for this app, then it does track. So earlier, these kind of these prompts were also not there. So there was no consent that they were asking from you, and it was being saved, and all of your data was being tracked. Right now, also, when you do not read the entire terms and conditions, and you move ahead with installing that app and registering yourself, it actually tracks your buying behavior and whatever you are doing. For them, it is useful because that helps them make what they build something. When they see that as a customer, when did you come, at what time did you use this? For example, there's a very interesting thing that I was saying, that there's this OTT channel called Jio Cinema. So there are few shows that are being watched, for example, Big Boss. So that is watched by a lot of people. So they see that how many customers are coming at what time on their platform, and they introduce ads at that time when there is a peak timing, that customers are coming at this time around 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. they remove ads, so that they want customers to come at that time also. So these are some insights that they take from data.
Interesting. So if, let's just say, if as a consumer I am not willing to share my data, you will get a very limited set of data points to understand the problem in the first place. So what are some other alternatives for collecting data which can help a product manager understand pain points and then come to conclusions?
Primary research, you go and ask them directly. So there is an insight team or a UX research team actually goes and asks them, selects a certain customer set who are very frequently using your product, and then ask them that what if I introduce this, or what are you facing as a problem, why you say I introduce PayPal as a payment method and people are not using it. Then I go and ask them that why are you not using it? Are you facing some trouble in this journey, or there is some problem that you're facing? So that is a primary research. You go directly ask the customers.
Very interesting answers, Swati. This got me thinking, what are the similarities and differences when it comes to consulting and product management?
When we talk about product management, it is about a particular product. It can be any product, but it is about a certain product. With consultants, basically they are also solving problems, but it is for a business. You take a McKinsey or you take an EY, and some business approach them, and that business can be an e-commerce business. I'll take an example. Any domain, that can be from any domain. Oil and gas, explosives, e-commerce, any domain, education. They come to consultants and they say that this is the problem I'm facing. I'm trying to establish our business in some geography. I want to go there, but I don't know that whether that geography will be accepting enough for our business. So what you do is that you go there, do some research and see that how much can we invest there. So that is a problem statement that consultants get. Now to solve that problem, they go to that geography, they do some primary research, they do some secondary research, they come with some analysis, they do all the thorough analysis of the data. So if it is say the domain, the business that has come to you with a problem is say an oil and gas business and they want to establish somewhere, they'll do all that research, say that where is the raw material available and all of those kind of research, and they'll say that this particular geography is going to get you so much in terms of revenue if you establish here. So that is the kind of problem they are solving. When it comes to product management, you are solving a problem specific to a business to customer, that is for a B2C product. If it is a B2B product also, that is you are solving, I mean some business has come to you. In that case also it won't be solving problems like a consultant does. It will be a product or a service only that you are working on. You are trying to enhance it, or you're trying to see how that customer, for example, if you're using a tool for a business, Outlook, if you are a product manager for Outlook and you are solving their problem, then you are trying to see that how do you make enhancements in Outlook. It is not about, you can see what is the difference between these two.
Right. And how lucrative do you think this career is in 2024 and beyond, based on the kind of industry insights and work experience that you have?
I was doing some research around it actually, and I saw that product management has gained a lot of prominence in the past few years. I was reading in the US market from 2017 to 2019, 32% increase in the product management roles. Right now it is quite lucrative, and I think it is going to stay because of two reasons which I feel is because there is already a digital transformation. There are a lot of products that are coming up, and to keep that, it is not about building a product, it is about sustaining that product. Like I was giving you an example of Apple, that you cannot be happy that I have created a product, you have to keep innovating it. So otherwise it gets saturated. So it is not about building a product, it has to sustain it in a particular geography with a particular target audience, coming up with innovative solutions. And because there is a digital transformation, there are so many products, you have to keep up in pace. For that you will need product managers. The second thing is that there is a lot of competition now. There is a lot of competition. You see that there are hundreds of products solving the same purpose. So for that also, you will need product managers to think, to strategize, to implement. So I think it is here to stay for some time.
It was a very insightful session with you, and the insight that you shared about a lot of things and specifically about careers in general. I'm sure people will find a lot of valuable nuggets from this conversation. Guys, if you like today's video, please like, share and subscribe. Also, do let us know in the comments below which other topic you would want us to cover next. So thank you so much, Swati. Thank you for your time. Nice meeting you.